Listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Here we go, 9:24. Allison, I'm telling you what a morning. Happy birthday to your daughter right off the bat.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie.
Love it. And she has a great birthday. You get some trick-or-treat action on top of that.
Yep, every year.
Speaking of birthdays, National Great Rivers Museum turning 20 years old, too.
Yes.
We're full of birthdays today.
We're full of birthdays.
So take me through this. Right off the bat, I didn't realize you actually have cold tours.
We do.
Do you do more cold tours than you do?
We tend to give more cold tours than hot tours because of eagle season and because of the harvest season. So the loch is more active in the fall and the birds are more active in the winter. So people know that, and so they flock to the tours, and we keep giving them unless wind chills below zero.
That's fascinating. Well, it's also good to know in case anyone has anyone traveling into town and wants to go.
Yeah.
0-degree wind chill means Allison's staying in the office.
We have a team of very dedicated people who know to bring gloves.
That's right. Well, I'm telling you, I wouldn't last. My office already has a space heater in there, and
Same.
it is about 180 degrees every second of the day.
I always run my office at 90. People think I'm crazy.
I love it. Hey, you guys can celebrate the National Great Rivers Museum's 20th milestone with a great celebration. What day is this on?
It is Saturday, November 4th. So our birthday is October. We opened in October of 2003, but there are so many October events.
Oh, you ain't a kid.
Yeah. So we just decided the first weekend in November was close enough.
Well, you know what's funny? Before we go into the deep dive, I said this too because I manage the community calendar. So I'm telling people, I'm like, just check the calendar. There's like 80 things going on this weekend.
Yep.
Maybe push it to next weekend or 2 weekends from now, you know?
Yep.
So from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday, I cannot believe we're already in November.
Oh my God.
That's wild. You can celebrate 20 years of since the opening of the National Great Rivers Museum. And you've been there for 4?
3 years, yep.
How's the 3 years been? How does it feel to be a part of a milestone like this, too?
It feels great. So I've been working with river communities in this area since 2013.
Really?
So I've been in the area for 10 years. I've partnered with the Army Corps of Engineers in other positions that I've had. So I feel pretty connected to the museum. I've been along for the ride for half of it. I've been the director of the facility for the last 3. It's been a crazy ride, though, because I took over in 2020. Which is a weird time for a public facility and someone that works with community engagement. So we're very excited to be able to be uninhibited and just open our doors.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, and not being coy with it, but the growth chart for starting in 2020 has got to be great because everything was shut down, so you got a line growing up.
Yep, feels great.
And how did because I've never asked you this, how did the center adapt to COVID, and how are you guys, was it just kind of just hanging out? I mean, what does that look like?
So we're federal, so we only had to follow federal guidelines.
Gotcha.
But opted to follow Illinois state guidelines because we didn't want to be the only museum closed or open in the state. So we followed CDC guidelines and Illinois state guidelines, which were a little stricter at times. So we operated at 25% capacity, 50% capacity. We implemented everything that we had to do, and we stayed open as often as we could. There was a period that we shut in 2020, and then there was a period that we had to shut when things got really high cases again in early 21.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we managed.
That's really cool. I never asked you that. That's a fascinating question. Good question, CJ. Well, take me through this. So informational tables, children's activities, over 20 stations, food trucks, and a lot of fun. This is free event?
Free.
Yep. Talk about a way to celebrate a birthday where you're giving everybody the opportunity to come.
Yeah.
So fill us in on these 20 stations.
So we've got most of our key partners are going to be there. So we've got Audubon Center at Riverlands is going to be there, the Nature Institute, the Lewis and Clark State Historic Site, Illinois Department of Natural Resources, the Coast Guard, Sierra Club. I mean, you name it. They'll be there.
So what I found fascinating, and I learned this a couple years ago, the Coast Guard actually patrols the river, correct?
Yes.
See, I had no idea about it. And
Yes.
it sounds stupid. You're going, CJ, you're working for a news company. You don't know these things. I had no idea.
Yeah, so the river is considered national waters.
Uh-huh.
It's not one state or the other, so that's why it's Coast Guard.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Really fascinating.
Yeah.
And what can the kids learn at these stations? Just a variety of different things?
Yeah, so there's going to be stuff about environmental animals, habitats. There's going to be stations about how to recreate along the river. And then we're also going to have several stations run by us, the Army Corps, to teach about the importance of the river, dam and levee safety, water safety, how locks and dams work. And a lot of times we invite our partners in to run booths, but we're going to be running a handful of them ourselves, too, because it's our party.
Yeah, you got to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just fantastic. The commemoration of the National Great Rivers Museum will occur at 12 noon.
Yes.
And it's going to be behind the museum?
Yeah, so we rented a little stage. It's a sizable stage.
Sizable, not a little stage.
It's a sizable stage.
We rented a sizable
stage. Yeah. So, I mean, sizable enough that we had to rent the stairs that went with it, right?
Oh.
So, not a little, yeah.
See, that's how they get you.
Yes.
You get the stage, but you got to get the stairs.
Yep. So we have our stage. We're going to set it up behind the museum at the base of the lock and dam, and that will be at noon. And we have some local leaders that will be speaking. The mayor of Alton will be speaking. Our colonel, our district commander, Colonel Paneer, will be speaking, and a couple of others, just talking about the importance of the river and our role on the river, because we've had this museum for 20 years to introduce the community to what the lock and dam system does for the river. But we're looking at talking about the importance of the next 20 years too. So a big part of this festival is going to be getting all those different perspectives. So we've got the people that recreate on the river. We've got the barge industry that works on the river. We're gonna have some representation from cruise industries. We talk about engineering on the river. You name it, we've got all these different pieces with the center theme being the Mississippi River.
Well, and it's a really great thing because, not very often do people go, instead of just looking back, let's look ahead, because we still got a lot more work to do. And you guys have been really active this year. I mean, this has been a big year for you guys.
It has been, yeah. So we're trying to, hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Now that we're open and we're looking, and COVID was a great pause button. I don't want to say great. I hesitate to say great. But because I came on during COVID, it was a great time to really assess where we wanted to go when we did reopen.
Yep.
So we've got a really strong team, and we're really happy to see some of these ideas start happening.
You're right, though. And you know what's kind of funny is a lot of people say the same thing, and they say it just like you do. They go, I hate to say the word great, but it was nice because we had a moment to breathe. It was, honestly, it's kind of awful to say that because you're right. But it's a great way to kind of step back and go, all right, where are we going to go from here? Because now we're all stopped and paused so we can think together.
It was, wish we could have come about that little reset in a different way.
Right.
But there was a silver lining there.
Yeah, I'm just going to push for a national 2 weeks off next time.
I'm for it.
That way we don't even have to worry about a virus. We can just say we're all taking 2 weeks off.
Yep.
No, I wanted to ask you about tours during the day. Are you still having tours?
Yeah, so normally we run free public tours at 10, 1, and 3. Typically, when we do these larger festivals, one tour guide can only take about 25 people. So it gets to be, it's difficult to accommodate so many people. So what we do is we just open the dam, and instead of having a tour guide per group, we just have someone that's running the elevator, and we have rangers and volunteers stationed along the dam, and you can just ride up and you can spend 2 minutes or 2 hours. You can just hang out up there, ask questions of the rangers. So we call those open tours, and so that's 10 to 4. So if you wanted to be on top of Melvin Price for 6 hours,
You could.
You could.
Technically,
You could,
yeah. No one's going to stop you.
But this date only, we're doing something super special, and that is we are offering behind-the-scenes tours.
Really?
Yeah, so we are a military facility, so there is a lot of red tape involved in where we can take the public and where we can't. So we are designed to be open and have tours, but the portion of our tour that the public sees is such a small fraction of this colossal structure. I mean, from one guide wall to the other, upstream to downstream, is I think a mile long. It's a colossal, a colossal structure. So there's all sorts of mechanisms that run this, and that's closed to the public. It's considered a military facility, so there's national security involved. But we wanted to offer people who have been born and raised in Alton their whole lives and have done this tour 1,000 times, something new. So we have a link. It already filled up, but I'm going to be releasing some more spots today or tomorrow. So we have a link to register for behind-the-scenes tours. Those are going to be at 10, 1:30, and 3. They're 90 minutes long, and they will go inside the structure. You'll see control rooms, you'll see gallery tunnels and voids and machinery rooms, all the workings of the lock and dam that you've never seen before.
This is really cool. I mean, this is amazing. So you're going to see some of the mechanical workings, the voids, gallery tunnel. Is there a freaky part walking in it?
Oh, it's very freaky.
Really? Okay, see,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this.
Yes.
So where are you walking technically whenever you're going through this?
So if you're looking at the structure, you've got the vertical piers. We call them piers. So there's 12 piers. We number them 0 through 11. I don't know where that numbering came from. So we have pier 0, and that's the one you ride the elevator up for your standard tour. But you can go down in any of those piers. There's elevators and staircases, and there's rooms and computers and machinery, and
That's got to be wild. I was going to say, that's going to be a really cool...
It's dark, damp, cold, creepy cobwebs. It's,
Man, you should have had this today or tomorrow. You would have been in business for Halloween. Talk about that haunted house.
So we, the spaces are tight, and they do have to be led by a tour guide. So those are only 25 people per tour. I'm working to increase that capacity with maybe some additional tour guides. I know I'm going to be able to release a few additional spots either today or tomorrow, so follow our socials and see when we do that, because we released the link to register Friday night, and by the time I woke up Saturday morning, they were filled.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, this is such a cool thing, because you're right. I mean, so many of us have gone through and done the regular tour, and we've been inside of it. But to do this and really go behind the scenes, and now the one thing to stress is there's no cameras.
No cameras, yep. So it is considered national security.
Yeah.
So we already, for our public tour, we don't allow like telescoping lenses.
Oh, okay.
But you're allowed to have your cell phone. You're allowed to take pictures with your cell phone. Anything open to a public tour, you're allowed to take photos as long as they're not professional cameras. But for these behind the scenes, we will be, we have free lockers. So any bags, any large cameras, we can lock those up for you for free. And you can keep your cell phone on you, but it has to stay in your pocket. There are no photos.
Yep.
This is like I said, this is an Army facility, and you will be signing a waiver ahead of time. And then there are two unfortunate limiting factors, and that is the behind-the-scenes tours are not ADA accessible, and they are, because we are military, they are only open to U.S. citizens, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that makes sense. 100%. And with that, between the rooms, the voids, the gallery, what's your favorite part of that behind-the-scenes tour that we're going to be seeing? Is there a room or a location that you kind of find more fascinating?
I like the control room.
Yeah.
Just like there's so many buttons, and it's just lights and buttons, and
the kid in us wants to press them all
of them, and I have no idea what any of them do.
I've always wondered that, because I've seen we've all seen the airplane, control, but to have that and really go, you could really, alter the flow of the river. I mean, there's so many cool things in there.
So Melvin Price Lock and Dam is the first fully automated lock and dam on the Mississippi River.
So there's no one in there?
Well, there's someone in there, but the
Okay.
fact that you can do it all by button.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's all computer controlled.
That's really cool. Is there any more that have been developed since then?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're the only lock and dam on the Mississippi River that's ever been replaced.
Wow.
So we were constructed in the 80s and 90s to replace old Lock and Dam 26. All the other lock and dams are original on the river.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And have you been to other locks and dams just to kind of, just because I've never seen another one, what's that kind of comparison look like?
A lot of them are smaller. We have one of the only 1,200-foot chambers, which means we can take an entire 15-barge tow through in one go. It takes about 25 minutes instead of other locks and dams. It takes 2.5 hours on a good day. So that's like without ice or extreme wind or anything. Yeah. So we're much more efficient than the other locks and dams on the river.
That's that is really fascinating. This whole thing is fascinating. I mean, the lock and dam is really so important. Mm-hmm. And to learn more about it, but to go behind the scenes is like a huge incentive.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Why don't you have a moment to stick around? I got to pay a bill. It's 9:39. We'll come back more of this conversation. Hit you next in the heart of the 618.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Supply in this conversation continuing on your Monday morning, 9:41. I got some work to do today. I don't like looking at that sheet.
Me too.
Allison, you've got some work because on Saturday we're celebrating 20 years. And it's
20 years.
Well, it was funny because when I was this weekend, I was looking at my notes and I went, oh, okay, it's coming up November 4th. I don't know if I thought it was September still or what's going on.
What happened to October?
It's gone completely. But you can celebrate November the best way. I mean, the Great Rivers Museum, the National Great River Museum, it's been part of all of our lives. So to come out on a Saturday and you get to have a little bit something different and go behind the scenes or do all that, it's such a cool thing. I mean, it's just really awesome.
Yeah, so it's like our standard festivals that we'll have with all the kiddo activities. They can go around to all the booths and get a stamp and then get a prize, all the family fun stuff. But then we're also we have staffers from different congressional offices. We've got our colonel there. We've got the mayor there. We have stakeholders from the barge industry. So in addition to the family fun, we're also trying to bring a lot of meat to the conversation. So we've got a few different activities that we're doing in addition to the tours and the booths, we'll have our commemoration at noon, where we'll have the mayor speaking and our colonel speaking. But then at 1:30, we're going to have a panel discussion in our theater. So we have a large auditorium. It's fully commercial theater that seats 110 people. And we're going to have a panel of recreation experts. And so we're going to have a moderated panel. They'll be asked some questions, but there's also opportunity for the audience to ask questions about recreation on the river, opportunities to recreate on the river, what the future of recreation on the river might look like. So we have our mayor speaking on that panel. We also have Scott Bryant, who is the president of the Illinois Federation of Outdoor Recreation. We have Andrew Ray, who is the recreation guru at the St. Louis District for us, Army Corps. And then Nate Getton, who is the site supervisor of Pere Marquette, which is the largest state park in Illinois, and it's right on the Illinois River as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, well, and too, because, time and time again, I was telling this the other day when I was talking about the North Alton Godfrey Business Council, because Mary Lamy came in and talked about the Coastal Freightway of America, or the Byway of America, and how important that river is. And to really have those and get inside looks and get to hear thoughts and get to hear, especially when it comes to recreating in terms of river life in the next 20 years, that's huge stuff.
Yeah, so if you are living in a river community, which I think includes all of us, and you have any sort of question, or even if you're just invested and want to hear about it, we've got the Mississippi River Water Trail. They talk about kayaking on the river. Any question you have or anything you want to learn about, at 1:30 in our theater is the time we'll have all the experts there.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And before I ask any more questions, is there any other activities we need to highlight real quick?
Just a couple.
Just a few more.
So our commemoration is at noon. So prior to that, check our socials. We're still working out the time. We're going to be doing a recognition of the museum volunteers. So we have a collection of about 20 volunteers. Some of them have been with the museum for 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, and so we want to recognize them kind of almost like a graduation style. They all get to come up and we can talk about them and their dedication to the museum. So we'll be doing that, and then it'll be the commemoration, then it'll be the panel, and then I am going to get in so much trouble for mentioning this, but it's unconfirmed. So check our socials.
Unconfirmed yet, just disclaimer.
We are hoping to have a towboat there that the public can tour.
Really? That'll be cool.
So we've been working very, very hard to get a towboat there this last 6 weeks, but it's harvest season and it's low water. No one's got a free boat. And I just found out Friday night. I'm not going to mention the company yet because we don't know. We don't want
to put them on blast
We
yet.
don't know, but they did reach out. They said they might have a boat coming through the area. They're gonna park it, inspect it on Monday. So that's today. So I didn't have it ready for this show, but I should know today or tomorrow if everything is a go, and we should have a towboat docked there for public touring.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and if we don't, pretend I didn't say anything.
Yeah, just like you do with me every day when I say something foolish, But that is exciting. I mean, this is a really big event for you
My
guys.
bosses are going to be listening to this sweating. We don't know that we have the tow.
Get Acme Towboat on the line now.
I think we'll have a tow.
That's just great. And, Allison, how's the winter? What's winter like on the river at the dam? I mean, because I now my perception is completely thrown out the window because I thought, well, this would be in my part of the year where I'm kicking my feet up, going,
no,
here we go.
We're so busy in the winter. So harvest season is, and that's another thing that's so great about this festival. So when you go to a harvest festival, it's a bunch of eating, and we will have food trucks. There will be food.
There will be eats.
But our harvest is the actual harvest coming down the river.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's the actual harvest. So our lock and dam is so busy in the fall, and we get the migratory birds in the winter. So we're very, very busy. So further up the river, they might have to close a lock and dam if the river completely ices over. Here, we're far enough south, the river very, very rarely will ice all the way over, but those tows will still be pushing a quarter mile of ice in front of them. And ice is a very destructive force. So it is a huge, we're very busy, and we have this additional factor where we're trying to get the ice through. But I've mentioned Melvin Price is a very efficient lock and dam, and we have a special gate that other locks and dams don't, called a lift gate, and that allows us to lower the gate just so it creates like a waterfall effect, which gives us suction. And we can flush ice, and we can get our boats through a lot quicker without our gates getting ice behind them or whatever. So that's what Winter on the River looks like. We also have a Winter on the River festival in February, if you really want to know about Winter on the River.
That is cool. All right, let me take my notes real quick. So, to me, that is so fascinating. To me, that would just blow my mind every day, looking out and going, wow, that's literally going to our tables and going to these festivals in a couple of weeks. Does that ever hit you by surprise, like when you're just walking out there and just see it?
It is humbling every once in a while to stop and realize that this is a working river. And that's what the Army Corps is there for, is to make sure that the river is always navigable for those barges, for the passenger lines, for whatever the river is needing to be used for by our communities. Our job is to make sure that it serves that function.
Well, and too, to really open your doors like this and educate everybody on it, plus you get the behind the scenes. Now, you better act quick, because if those links went out that quick on Friday night, by Saturday morning they're gone. You better stay up to date on the National Great Rivers Museum social media.
Yep, we'll put them out maybe tomorrow, I think, is when I got to confirm how many I can put out, because like I said, we already filled up, so I'm gonna try. The demand was there, so I'm gonna try and get some more spots, but they're gonna go very quick.
This is so cool. I just think it's so important to highlight what the lock and dam really is and how important it is, because for us, we drive by it every day. It's like, oh, there's a lock and dam, but like you said, you don't realize how important it is and how innovative it really is too for the river to have that lift gate and to be able to do all these things that slow everyone else down. That's exciting.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the newest lock and dam on the Mississippi River, so everyone here in this area can not only learn about their river, but they get to do so at the newest, most technologically advanced one that we have. So it's going to be a ton of fun. So come on out, and the National Great Rivers Museum will also be unveiling a new temporary exhibit that talks about the construction of Melvin Price. Oh, one more thing.
And there's more.
We have a booth there that's going to be run by some retired folk that they used to work for the Corps, and they're going to have video and pictures of the first lockage at Melvin Price. And in addition to us being 20 years old, it's also been 30 years since the 1993 flood. And these engineers were there. So we're going to have footage and never before seen footage, like on someone's home video that was there that we're transferring over to digital, and it'll look so high quality.
That is amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah, it'll look like a video that's 30 years old, but it's going to be so fun to see and have the people who were there, the engineers at the time, talking about it. They're going to come back and share with the community what it was like to be there. And the engineers that are currently employed with us are going to be the ones leading behind the scenes tours, so experts.
That is awesome. And, well, to me, that conversation about the build is going to be fascinating, but also their insights on the flood, because, they're the ones that were in the thick of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. There is a lot of fun to be had on November the 4th, which, hate to tell you this, is this Saturday. Yeah, October's gone. 2 days and it's
How'd
gone.
that happen?
Yeah, it's just crazy. I still can't believe we're less than 2 months away from Christmas. Don't let me say that out loud. All right, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, November the 4th, whether or not it's for the children's activities in more than 20 stations, several food trucks, the behind-the-scenes tours of the dam, or those really cool informational, what should we call those, exhibits?
We've got our exhibits, but then we also have our recreation panel discussion.
Oh, the panel discussion too. That too. That's huge. That's actually one of the coolest parts of the day, I think. But also, should we call it an exhibit with the older retirees from?
Yeah. They're gonna have a booth with some a TV showing some old footage and some posters and stuff. So that'll be like an exhibit/station.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Allison, you better have fun on Saturday. If you don't, then I don't know.
I'll get my steps in.
That's a good way to put it. And I hope to see you guys with me at the the National Great Rivers Museum. And then 12 p.m. is the commemoration ceremony with the Alton Mayor David Goins and Colonel Painter.
Paneer.
Dang it. Almost. Close. Along with others. And, of course, that really cool recreational panel, what life's going to be like on the river, and talking about all that great stuff, behind-the-scenes tours. Plus, you get to see Allison.
I'll be there.
There you go. Hey, before I take a quick one, where are you trick-or-treating tonight? Alton? Godfrey?
Godfrey. So we live in Godfrey, and we live on a cul-de-sac, so it's a ton of fun. The kids just flood the streets.
So you actually get a trick-or-treat experience.
Yes, we do, yeah. And it's my daughter's birthday, so she trick-or-treats on her birthday. She's going as Barbie. Yeah.
Well, if you don't have a cul-de-sac to trick-or-treat in, and if you just do have a cul-de-sac but want to get more candy, stop over to Alton Little Theater. They're sponsoring a community outreach this evening, 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the parking lot of the show place. It's called Trunks or Treats. They're going to have some balloon animals or some face painters. It's going to be a safe, fun spot for fun and entertainment for young families in the area, plus totally free. So stop on over if you don't have that trick-or-treat spot because of the sidewalks or you name it, or you just want to stock up some more. AltonLittleTheater.org has all that information. That is Trunk and Treats this evening, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Alton Little Theater Showplace. We hope to see you there.